the questioning, got to a point that obviously I wasn't in my best mojo. It does put your self-esteem and your confidence levels down. So even if you know the answer, you can't put, or you're not always in a position to put your best foot forward. The discussion about my packaging was a bit too prolonged, and I understand that my packaging, I fully take onus, may not be the best, but that's where I am here in front of you, asking for guidance, asking for mentorship. The packaging that needs assistance will come with mentorship. So I did not know the need of putting that across, not just once, but so many times when I've accepted it. That was an instant. I was being interrupted a few times while pitching. So I don't know if that's how it's always done, or it was a one-off for me. I actually thought Namita would get one. She was my dream shark. And Peyush, it was unfortunate that Peyush was not there for my
Right.
pitch.
Welcome to Times of India, Vibhuti. It's our pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here as well.
So, when we talk about your Shark Tank pitch, tell me something about it. What preparation went behind it?
So, from the pitch deck to the financials, P&Ls, audited report, everything was spot on. It took a lot of weeks for us to consolidate everything and submit it before we went on air. That was first part of the prep. The second part of the prep was me preparing the script. But if somebody knows me, especially your inner circle, they know how I did revise my script a few times, but jo hoga wahan jaake dekhenge, and that's how I've always been. So that's how it was.
So, as I said, your pitch is surely going to be one of those, that's going to add on to the history of Shark Tank. So, I mean, you're one of those pitchers who've actually come out and told that what went on behind the scenes. क्योंकि हम जब pitch देखते हैं, it is just, I think, 20 minutes of your whole 1 hour conversation with the sharks. So tell me something about it. What was it all about, and how did it turn out to be? How it came on air?
So mine, apart from that 1.5 hour of conversation that has actually come out on YouTube, is about 12 and a half minutes. Everything else is what has come out of it is a dual approach to me. While I am extremely grateful to Shark Tank and Sony, because whether you get a deal or you don't get a deal, I think the amount of screen time and air presence that they give us has definitely grown our business 10x. We are still trying to cope up to the number of orders, and to, the right amount of awareness has been created. On the other hand, when I look at my bittersweet experience, I would say that, internationally in the West as well, the sharks really grill you. And but if we're in India, I think a little bit of a more neutral approach is always preferred, and that's where I went out and voiced my opinion that it's not a one stencil fits all. I think a little bit of humility, a little bit of neutrality is always appreciated.
So, one of your posts read about how Namita questioned your business on, how will it scale or how will you work on it. And, they also came out and said that ये तो कोई भी कर सकता है. It went on to that level where everyone was like, this is very normal. ये तो कोई भी कल एक कोई नया बंदा आके कर सकता है आपका चुरा के या जैसे भी. So, do you think that was something that put you off while you were giving your pitch?
Oh, 100%. The questioning, got to a point that obviously I wasn't in my best mojo. It does put your self-esteem and your confidence levels down. So even if you know the answer, You can't put, or you're not always in a position to put your best foot forward, especially in my case where I went as a solo womanpreneur.
Right.
Maybe if I had like people around me, my team around me, my co-founders around me, I would have gotten the strength. And that is why I did the video after, because I am a very strong woman, I'm a very strong woman. Woman. Sorry, I'm a very strong woman, and I did feel the need to definitely voice my opinion, but I'm also one person who likes to stay out of controversy, so I don't want it to be very negative or very blatant. I want to put my things out there, and yes, the part that did get cut out was basically where, by training my teachers or by creating an institute, I've created my own competition, and that's where I put the reel out. And I said that at some point we have to look at the bigger picture. My ask was to create these face yoga centers pan India. My ask was not for my product business. My differentiator is the face yoga techniques, the book that I have written and developed over 80 techniques. And that is what I'm leveraging. It gives me content. It is a business. Now, tomorrow, if a 45-year-old or a 50-year-old who has been a homemaker her entire life has come in, done my course, today she's taking online classes, offline classes. If as a business owner, and now because this is Shark Tank, I'm not talking philanthropy, I'm not talking
Right.
passion, I'm not talking all of that. As a pure business brand play, because it is Shark Tank, if I have the funds, and that's where my ask is, if I can open the center, my teacher who's already trained can actually run the show physically. She can
Right.
then co-create a set of team members who can either train for these classes, the therapist can do the facials actively, and with a global network of 150 teachers, my 10 p.m. class is taken by an African sitting out of Africa. Imagine the explosion we can do together. And that's what my vision was. And that's where I put my best foot ahead.
So, the second thing that you pointed out was how Vinita grilled you, and you really wanted to, you blacked out and you wanted to go out of it. So, tell me about that experience, that, what led to that, that sour, phase while you were in the pitch.
I don't know, to be very honest. The initial part was brilliant. Everything was good. It was all going on fine. And then suddenly there was a switch off, and the discussion about my packaging was a bit too prolonged. And I understand that my packaging, I fully take onus, may not be the best, but that's where I am here in front of you,
Right.
asking for guidance, asking for mentorship to set the right scale. You basically, when you're pitching, you as an investor, or so I think, you're going to look at two things. Either you're investing in the person, the honesty, the effort, the footprint, and then the business, whether the business is profitable, the business is in loss, have you proven a point, is your business really solving a problem statement or not? And today, I think I have enough footprint, enough real users who've come out, spoken about it, given us support, gone and shared their before and after. Now, these are real women. Today, if TOI wants to go in, I'll be happy to give you all the numbers and run like a inspection check, right? These are not fake people. So clearly, the problem statement of the business has been achieved. The packaging that needs assistance will come with mentorship. So I did not know the need of putting that across, not just once, but so many times when I've accepted it. And I said yes, 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 quite a few times. And then I had to say, I understand. In my own way, I was trying to say, thank you, let's move on. So that was an instant. I was being interrupted a few times while pitching. So I don't know if that's how it's always done, or it was a one-off for me. But I was definitely not prepared for that type of grilling, and it didn't. I think we need to be a little more softer. We're also real
Right.
humans, real people who are pitching, who've created dreams, our dream businesses. As an entrepreneur, you're fighting every day. There's so much of firefighting that gets done. We don't have I don't have 20 people in my customer care team. Maybe I have three people. One person also falls short. Literally, raat ko 3 baje tak I'm sitting and, answering queries. And that is also a reality of who we are and what we do as people. So a little more softer approach will always keep us more motivated.
Right. So, who did you think, like, which shark were you prepared for that, this person is surely going to get what I'm doing and I would crack a deal with he or she in the show?
You will laugh if I tell you the answer.
I would want to know.
I actually thought Namita would get one. She was my dream shark. And Piyush, it was unfortunate that Piyush was not there for my
Right.
pitch. In fact, I had my script में line prepared as well, where के Lenskart की I specs के बेचते बेचते I yoga की face yoga techniques House of Beauty provide करेगा.
God.
So, and we don't know who the sharks are, right? So
Right.
obviously on the spot I had to remove that off my pitch. And there's a lot of real time improvisation that comes in. So yeah, Namita and Piyush were my dream sharks.
But I think Namita crushed your dream completely when you went in the tank.
Yeah, unfortunately, I would say so. You think so man plans, God proposes, right? Disposes.
Right.
So it's one of those things.
But, you know, from the previous seasons as well, both Namita and Vinita have been those sharks who have always come forward for a cause. Be it a cause,
Yeah.
be it for women entrepreneurs, be it for, businesses that can run or have a huge potential or and are lacking behind few things, chahe wo marketing ho or something in terms of their
Packaging.
packaging technique. What do you think went wrong in your pitch? Not just the packaging part that you mentioned, but what was that one point where you thought that, yeah, let me just give up. I don't want to go ahead with this pitch now.
मुझे तो ऐसा लगा कि after understanding what I'm doing, there was no inclination from them to really understand what I do in depth. So that's where I actually internally in my mind had given up already. Sometimes you get your sixth sense goes
Right.
on, and I think that's what happened. Because the same question cannot be asked 100 times. If you are truly looking at investing in an individual, you will ask a certain set type of questions, which I felt did not happen. So I guess it wasn't meant to be.
So, were you expecting any of the shark that you thought is going to actually grill you? Matlab, if you watched the seasons prior, कोई ऐसा shark था where you were like that I have to be very prim and proper in front of this person. This person is gonna ask me all my numbers.
Yeah, Anupam, 100%. I thought Anupam will grill me a lot in terms of, not just your basic cogs and marketing and ad spend and this and that, but M1 and so much more in
Right.
depth. But contribution margins, plan for the future, 2-year plan, 5-year plan, growth trajectory. But that didn't happen. So that's where, I was literally shunned as to ठीक है, let's just say thank you very much.
So, did any of those reasons that the sharks gave before going out from the deal, did they justify according to you? Because I have seen pitches where the reason doesn't really match the persona of how the deal went.
Yeah, I would say so. So, packaging was Vinita's reason why she typically pointed out, but I feel that was a very small reason. I've created so much more. uh, and if you're truly in, then you look at the bigger picture. Because I've also seen other pitches where they've said create omnipresence, create a center or create read physical retail. You're doing online already, create an app, do that. You have an app, do this. I've done it
Right.
all. I have actually created the app, I have created the marketplaces, I have created the physical center now. And I'm running it at 10% beta. So now that, so that reason was not justified to me. Then Aman told me that he doesn't believe in services, but he has invested in service businesses,
Yeah.
Avatar being one of them. So definitely there is a miss there as well. Namita felt that by creating teachers, I've created my own competition. The synergy aspect, the long-term growth, the global expansion, clearly we didn't cross paths. So I guess those were all misses. Either I couldn't pitch correctly and I couldn't explain it to them, or they didn't want to understand what I'm trying to say.
So, with this season, majorly I've seen that the sharks have been asking for royalty in terms of all deals. I mean, 90% of the deals, I would say that they've asked either for royalty or they're going for safer bets by giving debt instead of giving the whole amount for an equity.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what do you think? I mean, as a person who is, going out to get an investment, is royalty risk taking for you, or is taking a debt again a risk taking step when when you're sharing an equity with the investor?
So, royalty deals are literally like loan shark deals, right? I would not be in for one of those. Today, as a startup, the government is giving about 5 CR of loan debt free. So that option is clearly available to all of it.
Right.
It is the decimation of knowledge which is important. Uh, but then, of course, it also depends on the scale of the business. For someone like me, I would say if I did get hypothetically a debt deal or a royalty deal, I would have opted out of it. I was looking for mentorship. Also, I mean, in terms of my ask for what I truly want to do, I need help with a larger investment size. We're already a profitable company. I can go to the bank and pick up a debt, or choose from one of the startup loan funds. So yeah, it's the individual. It is them coming on the board, taking the vision ahead that truly makes sense. These royalty deals or the debt deals for a business like mine don't make sense. I'm unsure. Sometimes certain in businesses who are in heavy losses, and they cannot prove their point for them to each themselves.
So, with the new phase of making deals, what do you think is very important that even as the one who is taking the investment needs to look on for when they are asking a certain amount at a certain valuation?
I think your entire financial risk judgment, right? In terms of what scale you are at, what is your daily, monthly burn rate? Apart from your COGS, obviously you're going to do all of those numbers, and what is available in the market. In addition to that, what is the value at this? The person who's coming on board is going to add, because if it is just a royalty deal, if it is just about giving money and there's no time involved in it, if you have to plead for even 1 hour in 6 months, then that defeats the purpose of it. You're basically looking for mentorship and vision out of Shark Tank, in the truest sense. I don't think the quantum of the money, again, as a seed fund level, when you're selling an idea, it is okay. But at anywhere, if your revenue is 50 lakhs, 80 lakhs, under a CR, it would make sense. But if you've crossed that 1 CR revenue bundle, then the world is your playground, right? Then there are a lot more opportunities. But Sony gives you about 20-25 cr value of airtime, which you should definitely not miss. So yeah, give it a shot.
So,
Very controversial. I know if you put this out, people are going to comment and say that, oh, she just went there for marketing. But that's
yeah.
not true. We have genuinely have a lot of expectations. We look up to these sharks. So when they don't, it's okay if you don't understand our point, but you can't put somebody down. I've had a lot of sleepless nights. It's taken me a lot to come out here and talk about it. I mean, my closest, if you see, I'd put a post out just before Shark Tank for my husband was his birthday. Personal info, if you can cut it out. But people see me strong. You see me crying because I have cried in my sleep. And that is the unpleasantness of, you know, something that you don't want to cross in your life.
Right.
There are politer ways of saying no, thank you. And that's all I ask for everybody, to be a little more polite, a little more self aware. You're sitting in the seat of power, deploy it correctly.
So, it surely must have affected you a lot because, it is going on air. It's not just you and your family watching, but it's the whole, every viewer, be it nationally or internationally, has an access to it and is watching it. At such circumstances, where things, they go to the downgrade road, how do you pull up yourself? Because then you are either answerable to the people whom you've given a hope, कि मैं जाके, I'm gonna, nail this and I'm gonna bring this. And then you come home. So how was it? How did you manage that?
Even right now, my heart's beating. It's very difficult, Shruti. Because, of course, rejection is not easy.
Right.
You're feeding, I'm a mother as well, and you have so many team members to answer to. Their careers are also in line to your vision, right? As an entrepreneur, you're all in it together. In addition to that, okay, you have high hopes, you get rejection, but if your brand is not portrayed correctly,
Yeah.
then the business that you built with blood and sweat can immediately go down in the consumer's eyes.
Right.
And it's all about portrayal. In reality, the business could be amazing. The products that you've built could be amazing, but because you don't have so many users to justify
Right.
your cause, it could literally be business शुरू होने से पहले ही खत्म हो जाएगा. So the brand portrayal of how it is done is equally important. And thankfully, as I said, a lot of the negative parts were not aired in my pitch, which is, I'm so grateful to Sony TV for it. And that is where the backlog, right? The sleepless nights, the stress, the mental anxiety, palpitation. I'm teaching yoga, for God's sake, और मैं खुद अपनी palpitation नहीं handle कर पा रही. Because at the end of the day, these are real life experiences.
Right.
And I don't know what's going to be aired. I don't know, is my business going to see light of day? Will the consumer understand it correctly or not? And that is very, very difficult to handle. It's taken me a lot of months, over 6 months, to gain the strength. And the minute I'm nervous or excited, I start smiling a lot more. So clearly that's like your human cover-up defense that comes.
You hide it.
And yeah, luckily I've been able to overcome it with all the love, the support, all of everybody who supports House of Beauty is given in. That's why I'm sitting here and blabbering so much. Otherwise, it's not possible.
So, now that Women's Day is around the corner, what would be your message to all of them?
I would say, don't be competitive. believe in collaboration. It could be a very small collaboration. You remember the Lijjat Papad story?
Yes.
Collaboration of seven women making papad at their rooftop. Yeah, it's not an MLM scheme. It is not, something that you cannot do. It is not about the competition. As women, an individual, you're playing so many facets. Imagine if you just get all of us together with a combined vision, believe in yourself, do it with grace, and do it collaboratively. I think the sky is the limit.
Great. I am wrapping my questions here, but indeed, it was such a great conversation.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.